Welcome back to the Ark Survival Guide. Today we are going to teach you where to get tree sap on the new Valguero map. Now, this easy trick to get tons of tree sap on Valguero is probably the fastest and easiest way you can get tree sap on any map in Ark. These tree stumps are full of sap and you can gather it very quickly, and there are lots of them if you know exactly where to look. So today we are going to show you all the best places to get tree sap and give you GPS coordinates and map locations for all of the best places to get tree sap on Valguero. Also, if you want to get thousands of tree sap without having to do anything, I am going to show you how to set up a tree sap collection outpost, which will automatically harvest hundreds of tree sap, and you can just stop by and collect it whenever you want it. And this will work in the redwoods, but I'm also going to show you some special trees in the jungle that you can set up a tree house in and attach sap taps to them. And if you want to save thousands of wood and hundreds of cementing paste, I'll show you how to build a Sap Tap Outpost with a very small amount of materials, which will get you all the tree sap you need for the rest of your adventures on Valguero. Also, if you watch this video until the very end, I'm going to teach you some other tricks that'll help you a lot with gathering tree sap on Valguero or any other map in Ark. So let's get started. Now, you may have noticed on the Valguero map there are several of these little tree stumps just lining the beaches around the lone islands and some of the other forest areas. Now, these tree stumps are full of tree sap. They're like a redwood tree stump, and if you pull out a pick, you can just get tons of tree sap from them. Now, I'm using a stone pick, and I just spawned my character in here, so the more melee damage you have and the better your pick, the more tree sap you can get. But as you can see, I've already got like 10 tree sap just in the first 30 seconds of playing my game here. Now, the lone islands are the best place to get tree sap on Valguero, and I'll show you from the air. They are these big islands kind of out in the middle of the lake, and they're the only real islands that stick out into the middle of the lake. They're right next to those big rock pillars by the redwoods, and here is the map and GPS coordinates. So if you head over here, or if you just happen to have spawned here, this is the first default starting zone on the Valguero map. Now, anywhere around these islands, just about anywhere you go, you're going to see these tree stumps. There's only like a block in between each one, so you can just harvest these and get all the tree sap you need for the rest of your game. Also, if you just go just a little bit across this channel from the lone islands, the whole shore that's facing them is also littered with these tree stumps. So if you come out here and just gather a bunch of tree sap, you'll have plenty of tree sap for your Valguero adventures, and you're going to be using a lot of this for kibbles with the new kibble system. So be sure to gather a lot because it will never spoil, and you can have hundreds of tree sap in your storage by the time you get to higher levels and when you actually need it. So here's the location of that shore, which is right across from the islands. Now, another great place to get tree sap on Valguero is Beach Zone 1, and here's the location on the map. Now, Beach Zone 1 is the second default starting location, and it's a pretty unique place. You can see a lot of these rock pillars down the beach, and then you'll see a waterfall that kind of has a river that spills down into the ocean. Now, this river is full of these tree stumps that have lots of tree sap in them, so this is actually a pretty cool place to start also. Now, if you see the waterfall, right at the base there is a beehive, usually in one of these little islands. There's actually a couple beehives right in this area, and if you're brave and you don't mind dying, you can actually get honey from the same spot. And honey and tree sap combined with some vegetables, you can actually make sweet vegetable cakes, and those are incredibly helpful. So this is a great spot to come if you're trying to make some sweet vegetable cakes, and you can pick up the tree sap and honey that you're going to need. So now that we've got these stump locations down, I'm going to show you some of those big trees in the jungle where you can get tons of tree sap and set up sap outposts. So now I'm going to show you where to get these giant jungle trees where you can create Sap Tap Outposts really easily. We are just north of the swamp, and you've got these huge waterfalls that spill down from a lake down into the swamp area. Now the swamp is a big brown area on the map just next to the green obelisk, and if we head north we go up the waterfalls and we have this nice lake. Now just next to these ruins is a huge jungle tree. There's quite a few of them up here, and you can actually attach a sap tap to that tree, and that will constantly create tree sap for you. Now there's a bunch of these trees all around this lake and in a couple other spots, but this is actually a great place right here because this tree is actually up on a ledge, which makes it a lot harder for dinos to attack you here. Now once you place a sap tap into a tree, it's going to constantly create tree sap that you can harvest. Now the classic way to make a tree sap outpost is to place a wooden tree platform around the tree, drop some sap taps into the tree, and then you can actually build an entire treehouse base on the wooden tree platform. And as long as you've got a bed and a storage box, you can teleport out here, pick up all the tree sap that's collected, and then store it in the storage box. And then when you're in the neighborhood, just grab thousands of tree sap and you're set for life. Now here's a pro tip that not a lot of people know about with sap taps. If you put 3 taps in the same tree, it actually will not produce sap any faster than just 1 tap. But the difference is it can hold more sap capacity. So if you have just 1 tap, it maxes out at 20 sap and then it stops producing sap. Whereas if you have 3 taps, it'll max out at 60 sap and then stop producing. So if you check back often, it's actually better to have just 1 sap tap, but if you stay away for a while and you want to maximize the amount of sap you get, then go ahead and place all 3 taps into the same tree. Now these are all trees which can be used for sap taps, and I love this one because it's right next to a waterfall. I'm sure I'll build a tree house in here when I'm doing my Valguero Let's Play, but there's a bunch of really cool trees and you can kind of see them sticking out above the tree line. There's also another one off in this direction, and we should be able to see it in just a second. It leans out over the swamp, which is actually pretty darn cool. This would be another cool treehouse location. So now that you know the traditional way to make a tree sap outpost using a wooden tree platform, which costs thousands of wood and hundreds of cementing paste, I'm going to show you an awesome trick where you can get exactly the same results to make a sap tap outpost using just a few hundred stone, wood, and thatch. And it is crazy easy to do. So now I'm going to show you the easiest way to make a sap tap outpost on Valguero. Now we're going to need a stone foundation, 2 walls or door frames if you want to go even cheaper, 1 ceiling, 2 wooden ladders, and of course a sap tap. Now we're going to start by placing the sap tap, and we can actually reach it from the ground. Then we want to put our stone foundation directly below the sap tap and try to line that up pretty well. And we're going to put 2 walls to raise this platform up. It's actually better if you make 3 walls because it keeps you a little bit safer off the dinosaurs from the ground, and we'll put a ceiling on top of it too. And once we've got that 2 stories high, we're going to build ladders down from the ceiling, and now we can just climb up to the top. Now from here, we're just a little bit below the sap tap, and we can jump up and open its inventory, and from here it's just going to keep producing sap constantly. Now I highly recommend building a bigger stone base and adding a bed and storage bin so you can fast travel through the bed, pick up 20 tree sap when it's full, drop it in the storage box, and then let it continue collecting sap. And you can keep filling up that storage box until you're in the neighborhood to pick up however many hundreds of tree sap you have at that point. Now, the next way to get sap on Valguero is to use the redwood trees. I personally prefer to stay out of the redwood forest just because it's so dangerous and the trees are so tall, But I've got an entire guide on how to get tree sap from redwoods and how to make a very cheap and easy redwood forest base where you can also have a Sap Tap Outpost. The downside is it has to be 12 stories tall to work on a redwood tree, but definitely check out the link in the description if you want to see that entire guide on how to build this base, and this is actually a very quick, easy way to get tree sap if you live near the redwood forests. You can also tame an Archaeopteryx and put it in a pen in the redwoods, set it on wander, and it will collect tree sap for you. So I've got another guide that will teach you all about how to tame Archaeopteryx and use those to get tree sap as well. So be sure to check out the links in the description of this video. There is a lot of really helpful info in those links. Now, if this guide helped you, please help me out and smash that like button, and be sure to subscribe to this channel and ring that bell for notifications, because I am constantly releasing helpful ARC guides, tips, and tricks, and I'm really focusing on helping you all learn all about the new Valguero map, which just came out on console and should be coming out on PS4 and Xbox One in the next week or two. So until next time, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching this video from the ARK Survival Guide. If you enjoyed it or found it helpful, please like this video and subscribe to our channel so we can bring you more great guides like this one. ARK is an amazing game, but there is so much to learn before you can really enjoy it. We are dedicated to bringing you high-quality guides, tutorials, and Let's Play videos that are fun, helpful, clean, and suitable for the entire family. There's a tutorial in this series for everything we have done so far in this video. Check out these playlists for more episodes from this series and other guides to help you enjoy your journey on ARK.